Here at Waterloo at the Trout Derby, and you can see a lot of folks out here trying to win the derby. We went with we got corn, we got earthworms, we also got some power bait. I think this is one that is infused with salmon egg. We couldn't get any salmon eggs at Academy. And then we also brought what was working last time, these trout nuggets right here. And so that's what we're using right now. I had a couple of bites so far, but none to stay on the line. We got first one on the line, or first one hopefully landed. Second bite. Here it comes, right there. All right, we'll be doing a catch and cook this round. Oh, he's a little guy. He's a little guy. All right. So that said, you got to keep your mojo. You always got to keep your first fish. All right, still no bites. Some other folks are getting some bites though. We decided to bring our Micro Flyrod with us. Right here, one we made out of that 8-weight, and we're hoping to get some hits. So hopefully we might get a hit or two. There's a hit. All right. Ah, he came off. I'm gonna hit it while I was moving it. All right. All right, one on a Micro Flyrod. Cool beans. Guadalupana. All right, we got one on corn this time. Bring it up fast. Yeah, there you go. All right. Oh, this is a bigger one. Oh, came off. All right, first one of the day for our fishing partner. All right, it comes in. All right, another one on corn. Okay, hadn't taken out the Water Wolf camera in a while, so we're gonna set it up with the Water Wolf. That'll sink on the bottom. We've got a weight or a float to hold it up, and then we'll have the floating power bait, and hopefully we'll get some action shots.
All right, so we start out with some power bait, dropped it in the water, and sure enough, we found out the bottom was pretty clobbered with a lot of weeds and whatnot, or greenery, but luckily we did get a glimpse of this trout coming in and taking our power bait. What's surprising is that they're actually looking into the greenery, looking for our baits. And here's one that's coming around, taking our bait, and this was just floating just off the green stuff on the bottom, and you see he does take it. I think if we didn't have the camera attached, it probably would have ran with it, and we may have been able to catch him. There's another one where, again, they're actively looking in the green weeds or whatnot on the bottom, looking for this bait. So I always thought that you had to have your bait floating above the bottom for them to go for it, but no. In this case, we're able to see that that was not the case. They'll actually look for it in there, and you'll see later on when we use corn how they're actually digging into the bottom to find the food. So here's one where he's taking it, he's pulling. You can see our line get some movement there, and in the background you'll see some trout just moving about. Water's fairly clear, not as clear as the first time we fished it this past season, or this season, but still clear enough that we can get some good video, some underwater shots. Later on you'll see some more trout come in and do some things that we weren't expecting, like in the case of, again, the trout digging at the bottom trying to get the baits. Right, now we shift over to corn, and that was the key bait this round. Normally power bait will fish well, but corn in this case works, and you saw how one was chasing it as it hit the bottom, and immediately 2, 3, 4 come in and start looking for that corn. So maybe they were keyed from the splash of the cast, or maybe they saw the corn going, but bottom line, some followed it down and started going for that particular piece of bait. Now here's one where he spit it out. He's going to come back in there and try getting it, and all of a sudden 2, 3 will come in there, and I think the one in the middle is the one that ends up getting the piece of corn. And unfortunately, we're not able to hook it. Again, we think it's the drag on the camera acting as a really heavy weight that's causing this. Here's where we shift over again to power bait, and we'll just let it sink to the bottom. And right there's about 3, 4 coming around, taking a look at things, actually coming right at there. So in this case, this is out in the open, or above the bottom, floating above us, and the trout look like they're attracted to it. So there's the power bait coming through into view here, and here's one that's going to take a look at it and pop at it. And so this is what we normally would have thought happens on the bottom when we use power bait. It's floating off the bottom, and they're feeding, or they're going for our baits. But we were surprised that they're actually digging into the green stuff as well. There's another one playing with it. This one we think we would have hooked if we went with our normal lightweight or free lining techniques. In this case, they can feel that heavy drag, and they usually will be spitting it out. This one I think was briefly hooked. There's another one that's coming in. Actually, it looks like it's the same one, just coming back. I think his buddies will come by as well and pop at it. That noise you're hearing in the background, there's a water fountain, so that's the noise you're hearing. Here's one that took us off guard. It stayed there for about a good 2 minutes, just sitting there doing nothing. So we just continued looking for other places, or continue videotaping. And here's one that's going to be popping away at it again. And this one's going to be interesting. It's going to hit the corn. You'll see it take a corn. It'll spit it out again. And then it'll spit it out again. And you'll see it just really quickly to the left take the corn again. Should be seeing it here shortly. The corn will come into view. There it is. Bam! There he goes. And normally we think we would have hooked him by now. Also explains how we're feeling the little ticks and short taps on the line. And here's one that also took us off guard. This explains why we're getting some hits when we're reeling in. You can see some trout just come over there just chasing it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and recast. And this one's going to hit bottom. And soon after, more trout come by. They just stocked the pond with about 1,500 fish that morning, or I believe the previous evening, and there was a trout derby, and so there's a lot of fish in the water, and it looked like they were hitting on various lures and whatnot, with corn being the key one. And here's one that you can see where he spit it out, took the corn, and ran with it again. So if we had a bait of choice for this day, we would have went with corn strictly, but of course we want to go and try different things, so we used the power bait as well as the corn. We were going to put some worms on as well, but didn't want to break open the container when we soon found out the pattern was basically canned corn. You can see again how they're just going on the bottom, actively looking for the bait on the bottom, even if it's in the weeds or the green stuff on the bottom. Here we go, pull it again. You'll see some more trout chasing it just briefly in the background. So good to know.
Okay, someone asked us to do a catch and cook video on what we do when we catch these stalker trout. And here's today's catch. There were 3 of us fishing. Unfortunately, only 2 of us limited it out, so that's the way it goes.
So it was a fun time going out there and catching our trout, so we could do this catch and cook demo. So do stay tuned for that one. We do have that one posted on our YouTube channel.